Well, first off, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody had a safe, Happy New Year. Um, we didn't do anything. I had to work the next day, so I went to bed. Work's going great. Saying that sarcastically, the weather is hindering us from doing our job. It's been freezing most of last week and high of maybe 40. For South Mississippi, that's kind of unusual. So, yeah. With that being said, no coffee today. I'm having bourbon. But yeah, like I said, the weather is kind of fouling up a lot of plans at work and at home. Fouled up in their camping trip, rain and possible sleet and all that other stuff here a while back, but didn't get any, but got really cold. So hopefully the weather's going to get better. It's only like 60 something days till spring. I'm just staying positive. But anyways, I got 5 envelopes we're going to open up on today's Mailbag Monday. So this first envelope comes to me from Caldwell, New Jersey. I don't know where Caldwell, New Jersey is. Not very familiar with New Jersey in general. That doesn't mean much. Let's see what I got from New Jersey here. Okay. This is, get out of the plastic here. The Federal battery used in the siege of Spanish fort outside of Mobile, Alabama. Let's take a look at here what it says. This is a view of the Federal battery used to capture the Confederate Fort McDermott in the siege of Spanish Fort, April of 1865. Old Spanish Fort Tourist Village is now located on this famous battleground, which is 7 miles east of Mobile, Alabama. Now, I actually stayed in, I think it was this fort area. Now, I know I've been to Fort McDermott, and I did I think I did a video on it. I know it was a video. I'm not sure if it was a short or full. Anyways, there is speculation or theories that Fort McDermott was the location of theoretically the last battle of the Civil War, due to it was one of the most furthest south. So basically the war stopped, kind of towards the northern part of the states, and they were, the last to get word that, hey, it's over, quit fighting. So they were literally fighting for no reason, basically. That's the theory. I'm not a Civil War expert by any means, so that's that. Now, I don't believe any of this is there anymore. Like it says here, it says, Old Spanish Fort Tourist Village is now located on this battleground. If I'm not mistaken, what's there now is a strip mall, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have a little bit of a welcome center, tourist information area. I can't recall. Now, I know Fort McDermott, the remains of it's there. There's no actual fort. It's just kind of groundwork, I guess you could say, the hills and things like that, which is kind of neat to still go out there. It's literally in the middle of a neighborhood. You park on the side of the road, and it's right there. You probably pass by it and not even know it. But right up the road is Blakely State Park, and there is a fort up that way, and I got to stay camping there here a while back. Kind of interesting. Some of that fort is there. It's reenactment. No, it's been redone. They rebuilt it, I guess you say. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of a cool piece of little local history that I've never seen before, and yeah, I think it's going to go good in the local history postcard collection. So if you're wondering what bourbon I'm drinking, it's the Green River Wheated. It's pretty good stuff. Not my favorite wheated bourbon, but anyways. The next envelope comes to us from South Point, Ohio, which is near Columbus, Ohio. So let's take a look, see what I got in this one. They got it nicely protected. Oh, good old Fred Flintstone. Somebody likes Fruity Pebbles. I guess it's Fruity Pebbles. I don't know. I don't eat kids cereal anymore. Even my daughter doesn't eat kids cereal so much. All right. So what we have here is the island in the sky that is located in what's now Legoland, previously known as Cypress Gardens. Let's take a look here. If I get the camera to focus, there we go. It says, the island in the sky is a landscape tropical island surrounded by water which will lift 100 visitors at a time to a viewing height of 150 feet above Cypress Gardens. It will make 3 consecutive revolutions, giving guests a 360-degree panoramic view of Cypress Gardens' floral wonderland and surrounding lake and citrus district. Now, I had never been to Cypress Gardens, but we have been to Legoland. We went to Legoland, my daughter was like 6 or 7, so probably 2016, maybe? Somewhere in that time frame, 2016, 2017, I'm not sure. This was still there. It didn't look like this with the little volcano-looking island. There's think of it as a carousel type tarp over, I guess you say. Now, Cypress Gardens was actually Florida's first, I guess you say, amusement park or a theme park, I guess you say. It opened in the early 1930s, I believe. Now, this ride itself opened in the early 1980s or late 1970s. I think it was the early 1980s. It was made by a company called Intamin Manufacturing, which does a lot of roller coasters now. If you've ridden roller coasters at big theme parks, you've probably ridden a roller coaster they made. Now, this was the first island in the sky. I believe they call it the Flying Island, which is the model name, and it's actually still being made. If you got the money, you could buy one from them. But this is the first one. I think they built 4 or 5. Now, I think this was the first one to close. It closed in 2017, 2018. It was a year or so after we left. We went to Legoland. We actually got to ride it, which was pretty cool. The ride had a lot of mechanical issues, let's just say, and that's pretty much what led to its demise. And Legoland, or the company that owns Legoland, is Merlin Entertainment, if I'm not mistaken. They do a lot of theme parks over in the UK. I think they're one of the 2nd or 3rd largest theme park companies in the world. But they got tired of fixing it, putting money into it, and they closed it, I think, like I said, it was 2018. Now, like I said, there are still 4 more of these rides that are operating. I think there's 1 or 2 in China, like Italy, somewhere like that. There's a couple, there's like 3 or 4 left over. But basically what it did was, if you can think, it's a circle. I mean, obviously you see the circle, and it was set like this and spun up, and it went up like this 150 feet and just rotated around the circle, pretty slowly. But when we were there, these people, you can see they're standing up. I don't believe we stood up. I believe there was chairs kind of towards the center, and we just had to sit down. And there was like a net all the way around it, so for safety reasons and to keep people from falling out and jumping out, I guess you say. But it was pretty interesting a ride. It was the only one in America, and it's actually the first one ever made, so it was pretty interesting. But Cypress Gardens has an interesting past where it's, like I said, it started in the mid-30s, early 30s, if I'm not mistaken, and early 2000s. Basically, people stopped going there for the most part. Admission declined and things like that, so they kind of closed it up, went bankrupt, shut it down, that sort of thing. And it went through a couple different hands between then and Legoland buying it. 2 or 3 companies bought it. They added some water park, they added some rides, trying to get more people into it, and it slowly got bigger and better, but not the rate that these companies could afford to keep it running. So they eventually sold it to Merlin Entertainment, who has put a lot more money into it, and they actually built another separate amusement park next to Legoland. So it's doing pretty well. It's a lot of a children's theme park, so the chances of us going back there to Legoland is pretty slim, because my daughter's a teenager now. So, but oddly enough, this ride's still there, but it's not operating, so might be pretty costly to get it out of the middle of the theme park too. So the history of this is kind of interesting, and kind of a cool piece of history that I got to ride, and I'm kind of glad I did so. Kathy's Valley, California is where this next postcard comes to us from. I've never heard of Kathy's Valley. I hope everybody in that area, I hope everybody is doing well in those fires that are going on. That's craziness is going on over there right now. I think they said there's 10, 11 people that's passed away from that. That's, oh man, sad. Anyways, this is the Marshall Motel, located on Highway 45 West in West Point, Mississippi. Now, this card is probably from the 30s or 40s. If you're not familiar with West Point, Mississippi, it is about center of the state, but on the eastern side of the state. Yeah, it's on Highway 45. Highway 45 is a major U.S. highway that runs from Lake Superior all the way down to downtown Mobile, Alabama, so right there on the Gulf Coast. So I think it's 1,200, 1,300 miles. It's a very, back in the day, it was a predominant north-south highway. But anyways, let's take a look here, read about this one here. It says, Marshall Motel, Highway 45 West, within the city limits of West Point, Mississippi. Reservations suggested. Telephone number, then air conditioning, electric heat, wall-to-wall carpets, tub and tiled showers with restaurants nearby. Now, this hotel is now I think it's called Relax Inn or Sleep Inn. I was actually in West Point here not too long ago. I passed right by it, and I saw this on the highway, and you could tell it was one of those older motels. This probably, if you kind of see the front of this office is rounded, something you don't see too much anymore. And obviously, it's a motel where you drive up to your room. Now, unfortunately, this is not a very well reviewed motel. Lots of people said the owners are rude, the people that work there are rude. Bed bugs, yeah, it's loud in there. There's all kinds of just really, really bad reviews of this hotel. So, it's kind of interesting to see it still going, but the fact that it's not very well ran, you know, it is what it is. It's just what happens as things run down. Bigger and better hotels come up down the road. But it's just kind of cool little piece of, not so much local history, but, interesting history, I guess you say. The Price is Right. What? Birthday showcase? What? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Wait, they got a bid on here? That's interesting. Price is Right showcase. Blah, blah, blah. Birthday showcase. Tupelo, Mississippi bid. Oh, wow. Okay. That's odd. Seeing that last postcard address and stuff, it's kind of weird. Interesting. I'm interested because I always like The Price is Right. I don't recall people sending in postcards. I don't know. That's just interesting to me. Odd. Anyways, this next postcard comes to us from Montgomery, Ohio, which is located around Cincinnati, Ohio. I want to say I've been to Cincinnati. I think I have. I don't know. I might have. Used to have relatives that lived up towards that area, Columbus, Ohio, somewhere in that area. But if I've been there, it's been a long time ago. Okay, so what we have here is the Townhouse Motel located in Biloxi, Mississippi. Now, this postcard is probably from the 60s, give or take, that area. Kind of an interesting little beachside motel. Looks like they might have had like a little restaurant here, maybe a bar, something like that. Kind of a typical motel, two-story little small motel, probably about 10, 15, 20 rooms in there. Let's see what it says here about it. If I can get my camera to focus. There we go. It says, in town on the Gulf, Biloxi, Mississippi. Gives its address. Swimming pool, air conditioned, free TV and rooms. Room phones, central heat. Open 24 hours. Carpeted. hotel service. Kind of interesting. It's, man, I gotta do something about my light situation. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna try to do some little something with my lights here. You can kind of see sometimes I got a light bar right here above my camera. My camera is my cell phone, and a recent update on the phone literally wiped out over 3/4 of my memory. So I'm gonna have to upgrade my phone here shortly. But anyways, this is no longer there. This was wiped out in 1969 by Hurricane Camille. Now, what is presently there is the parking garage for the Hard Rock Casino. If you know where that's at in Biloxi, that's where this is at. A little research on a local history group on Facebook. A couple of people said that's where it was, and even there's somebody on there that said their grandparents, I think it was their grandparents or uncles, something like that, actually own this. So it's kind of cool. I have a couple other views of this, postcards, kind of looking this way, if you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. I got those bidding on those too, or I might be getting them later on. Different kind of view of it and a different time frame. But yeah, it's just kind of cool. Don't see a whole lot of these on eBay. Occasionally they'll pop up. I got this in a pretty good deal. So yeah, it just go good with the local postcard history collection. So that last postcard with the Townhouse Motel, that's way before my time. That's about 10, 15 years before my time. So obviously I don't remember being there ever. But the last postcard here comes to me from Manchester, New Hampshire. Kind of interesting Christmas stamps. 15 cents. Okay. I didn't think they moved stamp denominations that low. I do know they make a postcard stamp. You can go to the post office if you're mailing a postcard. I've done it before, and asking for a postcard stamp is actually a little bit less than if you're going to send an envelope out. But it's, it just goes on postcard. So this postcard come to me right before. Was it right before Christmas? It's kind of weird because this envelope's not really postmarked. It must have been before Christmas because they sent me a Christmas card. Not many people send Christmas cards out anymore. This is literally the second Christmas card I got. My first one was from one of my best friends that moved out of town, and he sent me a Christmas card, him and the family. And this is, thanks. That's pretty cool. All right, so what we got here? This is the Biloxi Beach. And this is the East Biloxi Beach, I believe they called. Now, if you remember me just talking about the Townhouse Motel, it was located this area right here. Let's just say right in this area here, if you can think of it, is the Small Craft Harbor. Now, the Townhouse Motel was located just past this green space to the west over here. So it kind of gives you a little bit of time frame. Present day, this is pre-Katrina, definitely pre-Katrina. After Camille, yep, 1979. So there's been a little bit of change since then, obviously, because Katrina. This whole area out here on the east point of the beach, a lot of that is where the casinos are. That at one point was a lot of a seafood related area, lots of shrimp boats and things like that out there, fishing boats and things like that out there. Now it's casinos and things like that. That is the lobby area of the old Church of the Redeemer that got wiped out during Camille, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually looking at a postcard. Right, one of these trees out here has a ring in it. Ring in the oak, or oak with a ring in it. I forgot what they call it. It has a little history to it and things like that. Still present day in this area here. About where those cars are is the world's most expensive Waffle House ever built. I think it was like $2 million that it cost to build that Waffle House. It's up off the ground. It's pretty interesting. Might go by and let y'all take a look at a little video one day. But there's also a new hotel out there, and this picture was taken from a hotel that's there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what it's called now, but anyways. So let's take a look here and see what this says. It says a really beautiful setting is the 28 miles of sand. Can't read what it says. Sand beach along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Seen in the foreground is the remains of the foyer of the Church of the Redeemer, like we just seen. Biloxi Beach, or the Mississippi Gulf Coast Beach, is longest man-made beach in the world. I think it's 30-something miles long, if not mistaken. Every bit of it's man-made. So everything you see was pumped in from the Gulf. They just take a big barge, the big pump that has a tube, and it sucks it up and blows up on the beach, and it makes a beach. Dries the sand out, and that's what you get. The beach here in my hometown, I think most of the beaches in Mississippi are like that. They're all man-made. So just kind of weird that you figure on the Gulf Coast you'd have a natural beach. No, it's not real. It's all man-made. But as you can tell, it was a pretty popular location back in the day. All the cars parked along the beach and people enjoying the water and things like that. But yeah, I just thought this was a cool little piece of local history that go good in the collection. So got a little interesting collection this week. Kind of Mississippi, Mobile. I don't know if I told you where this is at. This is in Winter Haven, Florida. Down towards, I guess you say middle way down Florida. Middle part of Mississippi, and right there in the Mobile area. So kind of interesting little collection of postcards. Bought these right after Christmas, so I didn't pay too much for most of these cards. It might be $2-3 the most on these cards, so it's kind of interesting. I'm getting back to looking at postcards here and there, purchasing them, enjoying looking at them, look at the history of them, things like that. And some of the prices, it's just crazy that literally you get somebody selling a postcard for $2. They want $4 for shipping. There's no way it costs $4 for shipping. I mean, look at this card. This right here, they spent 60-75 cents to ship this. I get the little sleeves cost a couple pennies, but you want $4? Come on, people. It's just mind-boggling. And then you get some postcards, the $2-3, and literally a couple of seconds later, the same postcard is $5, $6, $8, $10. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't understand people's reasoning. I mean, I get inflation, but it's just crazy. But I'm gonna quit rambling. If you ever been to Winter Haven, Florida, and you've been to, Cypress Gardens, have you seen the skiing shows and all that stuff they used to have, and the beautiful gardens and the Florida pool that's out there? Let me know what's your favorite part of Cypress Gardens or Legoland. We enjoyed Legoland. We spent 2 or 3 days in Legoland, stayed on site and did all the fun stuff there. If you've been to the Townhouse Motel, you remember being there? Or you remember the Marshall Motel? If you ever stayed there, let me know. If you stayed in the Relax Inn or Sleep Inn, whatever it's called now, let me know what you think about that. I bet it was interesting. But yeah, just a couple little interesting little postcards. Nothing too crazy, but kind of like that one. I've been looking for that one. I got a really good deal on that one. I think I paid like less than $1 or less than $2 for it. So yeah, hit the jackpot for once. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my bourbon, go relax, maybe go take a nap. But I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.